Excitement is mounting in Johannesburg as the 12 lovely Miss South Africa finalists prepare for Friday evening's gala, at which one of them will receive the crown, the title, and some very handsome prizes. In our studio this evening, joining us in town tonight, is Anneline Krill, former Miss South Africa, former Miss World, and today fashion designer and international model. I asked her to recall the occasion when she first triumphed to win the coveted Miss South Africa title.
You spend about a week beforehand, in a hotel with all the finalists, and you go to all different kind of venues and outings, and you meet a lot of prominent business people and society people in all different fields. So it's, you're all of a sudden from maybe a small town girl swept into the life of stars and lights and famous people. Just take from my personal experience, I came from a university in Pretoria, and I really, I came from a very middle class home. So my sister was kind enough to give me some of her clothes and her shoes and whatever. So I arrived all in borrowed feathers.
Very successfully, I might add.
Yes, it was. I really liked the dress that she gave me, the evening dress, which was sort of a navy blue with strelitzias on it in orange, so much that I wore it to every occasion afterwards. They finally had to say to me, please, won't you mind wearing another dress? I thought that dress must have done the magic.
Maybe it was the lucky charm. Yes. If you were able to offer just a little bit of advice to those Miss South Africa finalists who are preening their feathers and grooming themselves in preparation for Friday, would you be able to just single out one bit of advice for them in preparation for that big evening?
Well, I would say, you just got to stop eating for a couple of days. Not really. I mean, I'm always concerned about my weight. So I would say take it easy on all the food and the drinks and because it's luncheons, it's dinners, it's cocktail parties. And there's a lot of functions, so you don't really know the people that you're with, and you might be a little bit nervous. So you end up eating and drinking quite a lot. So I think you just got to stay calm and really, as far as I'm concerned is really to be relaxed and to be yourself and to just talk about yourself and your own resources, because beforehand, the judges ask you a couple of questions about yourself and your general knowledge about different things that's concerning South Africa and the world. So you just got to be relaxed and really be honest about yourself and towards the people and be sincere.
How nice if you're really able to enjoy the evening, because whether you come first, second or third, the fact is that you have made the final team, and that in itself is an enormous personal achievement. And if one surely could relax and look back on it as being a very exciting time, that in itself is very fulfilling.
Yes, I would say the most exciting time is really when you look back on it, when you've been through it all. And you can say, gee whiz, it was kind of nice, and this and that happened, and that went wrong. My curlers didn't arrive or something, because something always go wrong.
You mentioned weight control, and I would have thought that rather implied the fact that not only at that time, but in your particular case, over the years, one has to maintain a certain amount of discipline in order to always look good and feel good and project a sense of beauty and well-being, and that's not easy.
Well, I think discipline is important in every field of life. I think, as far as your personal life is concerned, your clothing, your way of life, your business, everything, you got to do everything in moderation, but you got to do most of everything.
Just remaining with the beauty side for a moment, I know that you ventured out into fashion and into beauty per se and into perfume, but I take you back, I think about 3 years, when we chatted about a book that you brought out on beauty. Was that your first attempt at writing, or have there been any other books? Because I'm not aware of them.
No, there was no other book. That was, in fact, co-writing with a writer from England, a girl that really researched the subject very much. I was really brought in afterwards, and I had to believe what she told me and what's it all about. So I've been doing all those facial exercises. But I tell you, the lines come nevertheless. Maybe a year or what later, but they're there. I think when you're early in your 20s and whatever, you really don't think about age, and you don't think it'll ever come your way, In your 30s, you start, you see the first couple of lines arriving and whatever, and they don't go away, no matter how much cream you put on. So you start, looking at it differently, and realize then you look into your personality and your way of life and your history and whatever, and you realize that you're really learning through life and you're becoming more full as a person, and your looks are not that important.
Just moving for a moment onto the subject of cover girl photographs, you've appeared as the cover girl on so many magazines.
Yes, I do quite a lot of modeling, and I used to do a lot, and I worked all over the world. I was very lucky to be able to work in New York and Italy and London. And the nice thing about being a model is the fact that you can travel and you can work anywhere. In South Africa, I've done a lot of modeling, and I'm lucky that I'm in the position even to do it still, after so many years.
You talk about so many years. When, in fact, did you first start modeling?
Well, when I was really 18, when I became a South Africa, 18, 19, yes.
You mention New York, you mention Italy, you mention London, Europe. Do you have a particular area, a particular country that either is responsive to you or that you feel particularly comfortable working in?
Well, as far as work is concerned, I think the most challenging and the most as far as satisfaction is concerned, the most wonderful place for me was New York. I mean, there's really, today you think you're the most beautiful girl on earth. Tomorrow you see 10 other walking past and they're even more prettier. And the thing is, it's so important that you've got to be there and on the scene all the time, carrying around your book to different photographers all the time, because a lot of girls that has got a lot of talent come from all over the world to go and compete there, being a model, a top model. And if you're lucky enough to strike the big time, you really are in a great situation to make a lot of money. And it can lead to film and different other directions after that.
How interesting that the emphasis seems to have, I don't know whether it's switched or whether it's changed slightly from the real classic beauty, perhaps to a face that has a little something different. Maybe the features are not absolutely perfect, but there's a look in the eye, a particular smile that really is an attention getter. There seems to have been a shift of emphasis somehow.
Well, that's quite right that they say that beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder, because if you look through the ages and through the years, which models or whatever situation they might have been, actors were concerned as being beautiful, and thought of as being beautiful. They've changed it from Twiggy to Marilyn Monroe, to all the Jean Shrimpton and so many other models. They were all beautiful, but they're all in a different way. Today I think it's very much an outdoor look and a more casual feeling that the person needs to have.
Just moving back again to fashion for a moment, you have not only obviously modelled extensively and for a number of years, but you've really taken a step further in that direction because you're designing and making garments yourself. What prompted this, or has it been a sort of a burning ambition of yours for a while?
Well, it was sort of a natural flow as far as I'm concerned from being involved with fashion for so many years. And, being in a situation that I cannot do film all the time because I've got a family life and a home life. And also I can't do theatre work, which I really like doing very much because of the same reason. So I had to find something that is well suited to me, where I can express myself in a way and that will give me satisfaction. And that was the natural choice.
And it is giving you enormous satisfaction, isn't it?
Fantastic. It's very nice. There's always a lot of problems. I mean, nothing in life goes without problems, but it's a challenge to have those problems and overcome them.
I think a large portion of South Africa first saw and appreciated your designing skills in the SABC television Arties ceremony, where the garments were quite exotic and quite flamboyant. They were very exciting, weren't they?
They were very exciting. And in fact, when we designed the garments, we kept every personality's in mind, what they are, what kind of person they are, how they react. So it's important to keep those facts in the back of your head when you design a garment, I think.
Am I not right in saying that you've branched out even further into perfumes and beauty ranges and so on?
Yes, well, I've been for years with Mary King, which is a cosmetic, a local cosmetic. They were in fact bought from America, but now they're local. And I've enjoyed that because when I travel, I love bringing all little new things that I pick up from overseas back to South Africa and give it to the people from Mary King and say, gee whiz, that's really nice. Let's do it. So that was the nice thing. That is the nice thing about the cosmetic side. The perfume side, I wanted to do perfume for a long time. I really thought I'd love to do a perfume that is suited to me, and I think that will suit a lot of other women as well. And the natural way after the clothing was to go into that, and I was lucky enough to do it. Mostly floral floral ingredients, and it's good for South Africa. And it's lasts quite a long time.
We read of the big names in sport, in the fashion world and so on, having wonderful opportunities to sponsor products. Has this been part of your life over the last 10, 12 years? Being able to sponsor, put your name to certain brands?
Well, as far as the cosmetics is concerned, yes. I had to take my own initiative as far as the perfume is concerned and the fashions. So in a way, yes, and it gives you a wonderful opportunity. It's there.
You mentioned earlier on that because of your private and personal life, you don't always have as much time to spend on films and television series and so on. May I just take you back a couple of years to a production I saw, a Peter Turine production, in which I think you made your stage debut. That must have been quite a fun experience for you.
It was fantastic. I was working with Richard Haynes, and he's such a great professional, that I really was nervous. And I was even nervous going to audition for the part. But I studied dramatic art, so it was really something I would have loved to do professionally and on a professional stage. And I got the opportunity, and it was just a tremendous experience for me. And I've learned so much about acting, actually doing a part for 3 months or 4 months. You work on the same character night after night after night, and maybe twice a day. And you can really perfect the character, which is fantastic, and a great challenge, and hard also to keep the same emotion and the, the freshness in a character after so many months. Where film is very different, where you work just once on a part and once on a character, and you do maybe the last bit of a film the first day. So you really got to have a full knowledge of your character before you enter shooting.
Now, why is it, or am I wrong in saying that we haven't seen you on TV screen or on film for some while, or was something in the pipeline that I've missed?
No, I don't do that many because of my lifestyle. But in fact, they start Afrikaans series starting on Thursday evening that I've done more than a year ago. So I look forward to see it. It's been done so long ago, I can't remember it clearly. But I think what is important for me is also to be choosy. I'd like to have a character or a part where there's a bit of a challenge, where there's a development in the character. And I think locally it's not very easy to find that always.
We're well into 1987, halfway through 1987. What plans have you got for the rest of this year? Well, what's exciting?
First of all, the next 3 months I want to change the world. And then I want to go to the moon. No, I never plan ahead. Things happen to me and I just take it in my stride.
And that was Anneleen Kriel-Kerzner, beauty queen, international model and fashion designer. In town tonight on Radio South Africa.